Welcome back to Jungle Gym Aquatics. I'm Jim, and today we're going to tour my fish room. Today's fish room POV is going to be a little bit different. There are all the aquariums. There's Randy being cool. Oh, my flash is on apparently. Must be dark in here. Oh, a little bit more of the aquariums. Into there. Now, we're actually going to go into the kitchen. And we're going to do a tour. We're going to start here on my counter. I've got this 5-gallon, I guess quarantine / hospital aquarium. You can see there's some Melifix right there. I did put that Bolivian ram that had the eye issue a couple weeks ago in here. Or last week, I guess. In here, as the normal residents, are this platy, that red-eye tetra, and that danio. There's nothing fancy about this aquarium. It literally just has a sponge that I put an air stone into and then zip tied around it. And it has been set up this way since February of 2023. I do occasionally put sticks in here, that sort of stuff. Just give them something to play around with. These guys will also bounce around between some of the 10 gallons that I have, depending on what size fish I'm getting. Directly to the left of that, or spun around, I've got this big quarantine tank. It's a 40-gallon breeder and stand that I had built. Inside of this one, I've got 4 silver dollars that I've got to grow out. They're going to go in with the Oscars and the bluegill. And then 3, supposedly, Colombian red and blue tetras. We'll see what happens. I was at near a local fish store the other day. I don't get to them often, but I had a job by one. So I stopped by to see, and they had those things, and they had the silver dollars. However, you see that goldfish, that's supposed to be one of the tetras, and I'm thinking that's not a tetra, but, you know, we'll see what that thing grows into. For all I know, that's a rosy red minnow, but again, I'm not sure. We'll find out what happens with it. I do apologize. My gimbal, for some reason, sometimes just drags directly to the left. We'll see if that keeps happening throughout the course of this. I hope it doesn't. So those are the 2 that I have in the kitchen. Normally, you all see me stop on this view with my coffee. So I'm going to grab that, and we're going to move into the living room. Here's a view most of you don't ever get to see. Me coming out of my kitchen and into the living room where all the other fish tanks are. Inside of this room we have 5 fish tanks over there, although one's got a hamster in it. We have the 90-gallon, the 125, 3 10-gallons, and another 20 long right there. We're going to start up here by the TV. So down here is where the hamster lives. I've got video from her earlier today. She only comes out, she doesn't come out all that often, but she was out running around earlier, so I grabbed some video of that. This is our Jungarian hamster, Andy. She's eating right now. But she's out. It's still pretty early. It's like almost 5 o'clock in the morning. But I don't get to see her too often because she is nocturnal. Randy's obviously interested in her every time she comes out and we're up. Randy has to go check it out. Leave her alone, Randy. Thank you. But yeah, she lives in this 20-gallon long. She's got a fish cave, well, 2. That log is actually a fish decoration. You can see the plastic tunnel there. They go all underneath this bedding, so she's got a whole runway under there. And it comes up. She's got one that comes up by the water back there. One that comes up underneath the log right there. So she can just move around without anybody bothering her. And she pops up. Sometimes she doesn't even come out to drink that water. You literally just hear her and you don't see anything, but you can hear the ball of the inside of the tube moving around. That's her. Albino. Well, she's not really albino, but they call her that. She does have red eyes and everything, but a Jungarian hamster. Hammy Andy. Up here we have a 20-gallon long. You can see there's some cardinal and neon tetras in here. There's this betta or betta that came from my nephew's apartment that they moved into and somebody had left behind. We've also got some stir-by cories. You can see that guy. You've got some African dwarf frogs, which if you've never had these things, they're kind of boring. They don't do much. They just jump up to the surface every now and then and get air. But when you feed them worms, it's pretty darn hilarious because they go absolutely ballistic. I think I saw another one back there. Yeah, there's another one right back there. hopefully you can see. I've got 3 of them in here. One of them, a guy that works with me, his wife wanted to get rid of the aquarium, and they had that. And actually, the red-eye tetra from the other aquarium was from their aquarium as well. So there's all of that. There goes one of the stir-bys. There's also a bristlenose pleco in here somewhere. It's amazing how something that large can hide in a tank this small. Oh, it's under the rock right there. Oh man, cool. My camera's working awesome. And I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but it's there. I promise. I don't know why my camera doesn't want to focus on anything at all here. All right, next to that we have the TV, and then down below that is the 55. Inside of this 55, this is the barb tank. Let's see if I can make it a little bit easier for everybody to see. Yeah, there we go. All right, inside of here we've got 6 of these rose lines. I just got 3 more. Actually, there's one of the small ones right there. You can see him. They're going to grow up in here, and then hopefully we'll get a bigger aquarium for them to move into at some point. But I've had these guys for quite a while. They were about the size of the other ones when I first got them, and now you can see the size. It's also got a bunch of tiger barbs in here, different styles of tiger barbs. We've got these green ones, platinum ones, we've got black ones, we've got glow barbs. We've got all kinds of barbs in here. And since it's right under the TV, I get to watch it all the time, and it's actually very, very entertaining. There's also 3 or 4 cories in here. There's one down there at the very bottom. You can see him. He's just kind of hiding. Doesn't want anybody to know he's there. Oh, I know. So that's this 55. In here, I've got these filters running, that Zis filter, and then we've also got this big lotus right here. We've got some Java ferns. We've got this big Anubias right over there. That thing's been growing in here. I've had this set up since like, I think 2021. So it's been some time. All right, moving on. Next to that, we've got this rack with these 229s on it. This is the Bolivian ram tank. Ooh, one of them actually came out. Don't see those guys very often. But this is the Bolivian ram tank I set up last week. It's still doing all right. These things died instantly, whatever these red stem plants were. I knew they were going to, because that's just what happens every time I plant a stem plant. It's not the Pogostemon octopus. But the tank itself is doing pretty darn well. In here I've got a couple of those cardinal tetras. You can see that one's really quite large right there. I'm not sure if that means she's gonna lay some eggs or what, but this was the easiest tank to put that thing into, so that's what I did. We'll see if anything happens with those guys. I've got some mystery snails in here that you can see. I don't know where they're hiding, but you can see right under here, under this rock, dug out by a couple of albino plecos here. Oh, there's one of the Bolivian rams right there. And I don't know where the other 2 are. I mean, I can see them, but you can't really. There's one right there between the rock and the log. And like I say, I have no idea where the plecos are in here, but they're in here, I swear. Oh, there's one. You can see its tail right there. That's my 29-gallon there. The jungle bell's doing all right. That jungle bell's finally going to die off, but the stuff I replanted in the back is doing pretty well. So hopefully that takes care of it. That takes off, because I'd really like to see that happen. In here also I've got this like marble pothos or pothos. It's doing pretty darn well. Kind of finds upon itself, but those roots are really going down. They do a lot in here. I've also got that frog bit right up there, and I've got 3 different patches of Java fern, one behind that sword plant and the other 2 by the rocks there. Also, there's that lotus. It's growing up pretty nicely. Hopefully it'll keep going, because I do like those. And I think fish will enjoy swimming around through that. Moving on. Under there, we've got this other 29-gallon. And this one's got... See there, my gimbal did that thing again. This one's got some black neon tetras and some harlequin rax boras. Again, this aquarium's been set up probably since like early 2021, somewhere in that area. Oh my goodness, this gimbal is killing me. We've also got another female betta in there. You can see her. She hangs out in there with those dudes. We've got a bunch of Anubias in here and 1 Java fern. Again, the Anubias has been growing up forever. There's also like, I don't know, 4 dozen shrimp in here. Some of them are this cool orange color, but not most of them. Some of them are red, some of them are yellow, but the vast majority of them are just brown and trashy. Well, I guess not trashy, that's mean, but like on this rock, I don't know, even on that rock right now, there's 6 shrimp. You can see some of them, but not all of them. Yeah, there they go. You can see them moving around, but there's just a ton of shrimp in here. There used to be a ton of mystery snails. Oh my God, this gimbal's killing me. There used to be a ton of mystery snails too. You can see all the shells there, but they just kept having babies, and I think it just overwhelmed the snails themselves. So that's why we moved some of them up here, and then I moved some of them to work. All right, so there's all my TV area, entertainment center area tanks that we've got going on. It's a pretty neat view. This is what it looks like from a distance. And there's Randi laying down in her bed under the aquariums. That's where she goes to play with her toys. She usually lays on the couch with me though, but she needs a petting. Don't you need a petting, baby girl? Oh, also up here I do have some plants. It's pretty dark. You're not necessarily going to be able to see them, but I've got just a pothos there, a neon pothos there, a Hoya plant there, and then a monstera that I'm trying to grow up from some cuttings. All right, as we turn around from there and go over towards the dining room, you can see all of the other aquariums. Total, like, let me count them all. I got the 125, 90, the 310, so that's 5. This 20 long is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 13 running right now in the house, which seems a bit excessive, but not to me, so I don't care what nobody says. All right, in here we've got platies and kribensis. You can see the female kribensis right there by that sponge filter. I know the male's in here somewhere. He's pretty big. He's actually pretty good at hiding now. You know, well, as big as they get. They use this cave sometimes. I'm keep hoping maybe they'll breed, maybe they won't breed. I don't know. It'd be kind of neat if they did. I'm not really trying to breed, but I mean, I can't fully say that on account of how I do have a male and a female. So I guess to some degree, yeah, I'm trying to breed them just to see what happens because I've never really had much luck breeding fish. I don't know where that male is. Yeah, he's definitely hiding. But like I said, you can see the female. She's hanging out right over there. I'm not really going to push him to get out here. Curiouser and curiouser. That's the side view of it. Over here, we've got these 310s. These are quarantine. Oh yeah, and I got this fish bowl. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. It's like 3.5 gallons, but they're cheap, so I had to buy one because that's just what I do. Down here, though, we got these guppies. You can see them swimming. Oh, you can't see them swimming around in there because my stupid gimbal. All right, there you go. Now you can see the guppies. Those look like they're all males, but there are a couple of females in here as well. And there's also another female betta in here. I'm not sure where she got to. Normally, she's laying right here on this magnet. She's old. She's like 2 years old. She was having some problems in the aquarium at work. She was just straight up and down. So I had her in a pretty tall tank there. I decided to bring her home and put her in something a little bit more shallow or shallower. I don't know where she got to though. She was just here a moment ago. I did just put some more water in here too to fill it up a bit before the show here, so she could be hiding. Over here we've got all these platies. They just keep doing what platies do and making more and more babies, which is fine with me. I don't do anything with the babies other than I'll throw them into tanks to keep them cycled. But again, that's all right. I've had these guys in here for a long time. Obviously, I got all that Java moss in the back there. That stuff will take over everything too. Not quite duckweed, but it does take over a lot because there's a whole ball of it in the back there that you can't really see either. And then in here, I've got those Bolivian rams I got the other day from the dirty tank. They were just in here a moment ago, but now I'm filming, so of course they went and hid. I think they're under that sponge filter, but because of the limitations of what my phone and my gimbal are able to do, I'm not going to really try to swing it around there because this thing freaks out on me pretty regularly. From there, oh yeah, and I got these plants too. I got another monstera right there. Just because I think they're neat. Here's a yucca cane, I think they call it. I like to call this my tropical zone. And then I got these two, I think they call them corn plants, that are in this window. Basically, I feed all of these things just off of the fish water that I get whenever I'm doing aquarium changes. And then, what is it, Leaf Zone by API. I use the stuff as well and do a squirt every now and then, like once every 2 weeks, so that they can they can get a little food. I did not mention on here that I do have another pothos. It's another one of those marble, I think it's marble queen. You can see the roots in the back there. It's doing all right. It doesn't get a lot of light, but it's not dying, so that's good. Over here, we got my 90-gallon, again, right by the 10 gallons. The 90-gallon, like, I guess, New World hybrid / New World man-made aquarium. We've got these 2 electric blue acaras. This one's a female. She was at the aquarium at work. She was laid eggs like every 3 weeks or so. She'd deposit eggs on a rock. I'm assuming that's a male because I've had him for 3 years almost. 2 years? It doesn't matter. Never once seen rocks or eggs on a rock, so I'm assuming male. I'm hoping the 2 of them will breed. That one I do want because I think it'd be neat to have the little EBAs, and especially they're pretty expensive where I live. Well, as long as they're coming up, we got that green severum right there that I got from Imperial Tropicals. That gold severum right there. He's a little dude. He's getting bigger though. In the back there, we have that firemouth, also Imperial Tropicals. And then we've got a bunch of these polar parrots. That was the original polar parrot. That's actually the one I set up that 5-gallon aquarium in the kitchen for. All these are his or her spawn. There's 6 of them in here. They hide in these rocks pretty well. You can see that one. He's going in and out. That one there. That one there. And then there's 3 smaller ones. They really do hide in the rocks pretty regularly. That firemouth is pretty neat though. I don't know why he tailed down. Maybe it's just because the camera's on him. I mean, I did just turn the lights on too. These lights normally on this aquarium don't come on until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then there's all of those Colombian tetras. Start out with 10, I'm down to 8, but that's a pretty darn good ratio as far as I'm concerned. In here, we do run this off of Fluval. I've got these peace lilies. They hadn't bloomed for like 2 years. Now all of a sudden they're blooming like crazy. This one plant in particular actually has 2 blooms coming up on it. You can see them both right there. So that's pretty stellar. Didn't expect that to happen, but that's what the 90-gallon looks like. This guy is taking over as tank boss in here. He doesn't really let too much happen. I mean, he lets them bicker a little bit, but then he'll get over there and be like, break it up, fellas, take it outside. And then they don't because it's an aquarium. So. Lastly, from there, and also in the dining room, there's that one. We have the big guy tank. And this is my 125. It's got these 2 Oscars in there, a bumblebee Oscar and a lutistic Oscar. It does have a Synodontis catfish. I've had that guy for a pretty long time. He was actually in another 125 that sort of blew a seam and killed all the fish but him. And then there's a pleco in here too that we have a hard time seeing. He's under that log. He's behind him on the log. He was also in that same aquarium that exploded. Well, I guess didn't really explode, but leaked all the water out. Over here we got the bluegill. Still doesn't have a name, but he's awesome. He just stares at me all the time. Every time I walk by, he's like, hey, what's up, dude? I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? Because he doesn't have a name, so I guess I just call him dude. Over here, we've got Johnny. Again, named after Johnny Winter. Great guitarist. He's pretty big. He's like 12, 13 inches, somewhere around there. Measured through the glass, of course. And then we've got BB. He's a bumblebee Oscar. He does have some scars from some hole in the head from some mistakes that were made in the past, but he has become an absolute psycho since moving in here. As you can see, he used to like come up and take food directly from my hand without murdering me, and now all he wants to do is murder me. This guy sometimes will break it up. He doesn't always, but yeah, he's an absolute friggin' maniac. I'm hoping that once I get those silver dollars in here in like 6 months or so, it'll calm him down, but they're still pretty small, so they would just get eaten pretty quickly. Everybody thinks I'm feeding them, so that even the catfish comes out for feeding time. He takes worms and shrimp from me and everything. He's like, hey, is it time yet? And it's not, because it's early in the morning, and they usually get fed either in the afternoon or evening. Now that he's moved, there you can see that pleco kind of. Oh yeah, he's a cool looking fish though, this catfish. He's big too, he's like 9 inches or so anyway. I mean, there's my hand, which is, you know, about 8 inches. Well, it's about 9 inches pinky to thumb. But yeah, so there's those guys. I really like this tank. I've been wanting a 125 forever, but I didn't want to take the risk of setting it up in my old ass house, because I do have a 120 or 110-year-old house. Somewhere around there was built in like 1911. So I did go down and sister up all the floor joists underneath this from the main carrying beam over to the foundation. It shouldn't go anywhere. On this one, I've got this large pothos as well. It used to be in that 40-gallon breeder when I had it set up over here, but it does run the entire length of the aquarium, which is pretty impressive. And then it comes down over onto the side right here as well, where this maniac is. He is so aggressive now. Never used to be. All right, so I will do the entry that I always do whenever I'm doing one of these POV fish rooms, and then we'll leave it at that. But yeah, coming down the stairs, got all my plants. Got these 220 longs. Got the 55 under the TV. The 229s, and whip around here to see the 90 and the 310s. The 125, the 20 long with the kribensis and the platies. And then in here, that quarantine / hospital tank and this large quarantine tank. Grab my coffee, spin back around, and walk out. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of the fish room down in the comments. Be good to each other, go be awesome, and do awesome things.